Ladies and gentlemen, good evening, and I welcome you to the 27th annual Let's Go Racing Motorsports Show. My name is Jeff Wessel. I've known Mike for probably what some would say too long of a time, as much as trouble that he may have gotten me in or even gotten me out of. We're going to start this evening with a slight roast, and that roast is for our guest of honor, who I'd like to introduce. But before I do that, I asked if anyone had anything to say before we brought him up, or had him take a seat, or anyone that idolized you, or honored, lives up to you, or reveres you. No one contacted me on that. There's nobody. So, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Babicz, have a seat. You can sit on that quarter. I don't know what that's about. In honor of Mike Babicz, because we all have heard him announce one time or another as he starts the show, let's go roasting, Mr. Babicz. Well, when I was told I was in charge of this roast, I figured I could do it in 3 easy steps. I'd begin by telling you what a remarkable person Mike is, then I'd describe all the wonderful things he's done for the world of racing and motorsports, and then I'd conclude by telling you the truth. But we can always know that Mike is available for contacts. We can always know that we can call Mike's house and always have someone who's always there for us, a person we can count on, and someone who does the work of 3 people. And ladies and gentlemen, that's Mike's fiance, Kathy. Thank you, Kathy. Appreciate that. It's good. It's always good that you take care of that for us. That's definitely great. So one other thing that we talked about when this roast was brought up, and a lot of us got together, and we wanted to do something special. We figured, it's Mike Babicz. I mean, he's done a lot of great things. He's a good friend of all of us. Why not raise some money and have an artist do a portrait of Mike Babicz? So we got everyone together and we contemplated, how do we raise funds, and we did it. We went out and got the best stuff we could do. And unfortunately, Mike, the only amount of money that we could raise close enough to an artist to do a picture of you was a box of crayons. So we thank you, and hopefully you can be able to stay inside the lines and draw a picture of yourself that we can all idolize in the future years. A lot of people here tonight. Thank you. The show is great. Again, I said that earlier. The cars look great. You all do a great amount of work during the season and, of course, preseason. I had a good chance, a couple hours this afternoon, to go through the show. I do want to thank all of you, all the teams, competitors, the families that put this effort for motorsports, something I dearly love being involved with. But Mike Babicz, one thing also, before I get going, before I call our first speaker up here, Kathy told me that you have pajamas that match the shirt you wear.
You do?
No, I don't personally know. She told me. I don't personally know this.
He might. Guy back there is going to.
And you're pointing out to another guy, Mike. That does not look good. That does not look good at this point. You're going to get married. Why are you pointing at guys? I know a couple people like to come up here and speak, and I have a nice list. The first person that I would ask to come up, Tim Cox, if you're available or still in the room, if you would please step forward. I know Tim has a couple things to say. Good or bad, it don't matter. Most of them are going to be bad, Mike, I'm sorry. Ladies and gentlemen, Tim Cox.
Well, I think it's kind of tough going first, because I'm sure there's going to be a lot worse stories after ours. Probably about 3 years ago, we went over to Eldora Speedway, and we're going. We're about 5 minutes from the track, and Mike says, "My God, we're here already." He says, "Well, this is the biggest reason why, Mike, because you talked all the way here, no one else had a word." No one else could say nothing. But no, I'd like to say about Mike, he probably puts more work into racing than everybody here. I mean, if it wasn't for Mike, all these car shows wouldn't go on. I mean, he puts up with a lot of people, puts up with a lot of crap, and everybody puts him down at different times. But this guy just keeps on going, just like a Timex watch, keeps on ticking. And I'd just like to say thanks to Mike, and I'd like to say, everybody get up, get up, get up, everybody get up, everybody get up, everybody get up. No, this guy needs a standing ovation. He does a heck of a job for motorsports, and if it wasn't for Mike, we wouldn't be able to keep on all these car shows and that. I'd like to say thanks to him for having these car shows, because I think in the past 27 years, I've had a car or an automobile in these past 20 shows, and so we've been here for a long time. Yeah, unfortunately, yes. Back to Belvedere Mall days, it was the first time we had a car there, so I'd like to say thanks to Mike, and maybe everyone else would say some bad things.
You know, I've heard the best thing about these car shows is that Mike doesn't announce them. His hearing is going. You know, there's one thing in regards to that. See, that shows your age, Mike. And I heard a little story this afternoon that you were, it shows how long you've been involved with motorsports, how long you've been involved with doing these things, you're announcing, and I heard that you're cleaning out your briefcase this afternoon, and you found a ticket for the stagecoach. Is that correct? Is it also not true that the first race you ever announced was the chariot races? That long?
Ben-Hur and I.
Ben-Hur.
Way back.
Okay, wow. You've been around a long time. Is it also true that I've heard that Mike Babicz can out-talk and echo? He's laughing because, yeah. I think I'll try it next time. Let's go racing. Tim, thank you very much for starting the program. I know, the first person to talk but you did a great job, because that story's pretty much true, because I've heard a lot of people say that, well, we took Mike to the races and he talked the whole way there, and that was just to, Lake Geneva. Oh! A couple other people I'd like to welcome at this time. Jim Stout, if you could come forward. And Jim is the guy who, unfortunately, a lot of the time at the races, in Jim's position, he has to stare directly at Mike. I know Jim is a flag man, but unfortunately, Mike always is in his view.
Yeah, sometimes it's not pretty either.
Sometimes it's not pretty. The black flag out for the announcer.
I have to bring some props with me here tonight. What's the deal with the roast anyway? That's the first thing I gotta ask. Usually isn't that for somebody who's like retiring or getting out?
We know he's old.
I think in a roast is something like you stick a harpoon in and put over a fire. Speaking of that, what's with this doughboy? Years ago, Mike came up with a thing where he called me doughboy.
Where's the cookies tonight?
No cookies, I used up all the flour. But I'm kind of one that helped start off putting out a white chalk line for the start lines. So it's hard finding chalk places. So the easiest thing to do was just get flour. Well, I used to steal my wife's flour from home. Or you could run the supermarket and get a 25-pound bag for $5 and you're done. So he would start calling me doughboy. But what do we see almost every night? Here, this guy dressed in white, running up and down the front straightaway with his arms flying, looking like a chicken that just got plucked. And you're calling me doughboy? Thanks. Hey, Kath, are you deaf? Yeah. That explains it. That explains it. Because here, a couple months, not too long ago, this guy had surgery, okay? Surgery on his throat. I can't talk, Jim. I can't talk. Okay, bye. That's fine. I'll call you later when you're feeling better. No, I can't talk. 45 minutes later. Mike, aren't you supposed to be taking it easy? Don't tell Kathy though, but another 45 minutes goes by. Mike, aren't you supposed to be quiet? Oh yeah. Mike, I gotta go because the phone just rang. Phone rang. I'm on the phone. It's the only way to get him off. So anyway, here's my props. For Mike, usually the green flag is the one that we start the races with. No, Mike just starts talking, right? The yellow, it's a caution. Mike can still talk. Okay? Red means to stop. No, not for Mike. He just keeps talking more. Courtesy flag, all right? We all know it's supposed to be like move over flag, you're getting passed, whatever. Unfortunately, Mike doesn't usually know what's going on, so he doesn't have a comment about it when it happens. Unfortunately, I think there's times, even Jeff, you would agree with me. The people in the scoring tower would love to throw the courtesy flag to the people in the scoring tower, because you have to give them some room sometimes. Show them a little courtesy every once in a while. Black flag disqualified. I'm sure we'd all like to disqualify him some night, right? Come on, help me out here, right? All right. White flag, 1 lap to go. One more lap with here, and Mike. Wrong. Checkered flag, end of the race. No, Mike gets started. Now he's got more to talk about, right? Unfortunately, I saved the biggest one and the best one for last. The biggest checkered flag I've got for Mike's enthusiasm over all the years for calling races. He's the only one that I know that can make even a tricycle race exciting, more than the people that are even in it. So Mike, for all your enthusiasm over the years, for announcing races, no matter where you're at, even promoting events, this car show, you get the biggest checkered flag of all. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jim Stout. Thank you, Jim. By the way, whose cell phone was just ringing? Let them talk to Mike. Let them talk to Mike. Hey, this is Mike Babicz. Thanks for calling. We're looking green the flag on this call. Coming out of turn 2. 1 lap to go.
14,322, 14,322, 14,322.
9 laps to go. 8 laps to go. Mike, it's only a 5-lap heat race. Thank you for putting up with that. I know you kind of looked, a little scared there, because that's one thing. Mike Babicz does not know the meaning of the word fear, but then again, Mike doesn't know the meaning of a lot of words. I'd like to ask Daryl Traber if you could step forward. I know you have just a few comments to make to Mike. Mike also, as many of you know, announces the races for the Midwest Enduro Stock Car Series. So that, we got to put up with them for, 20, 25 lap sprint car races. Now you're talking 300 laps stock car racing. And somehow we find something to talk about every lap. But, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Daryl Traber.
Well, Mike's been announcing part-time for us for about 9 years now, but you can hand him a script, you can give him names, you can give him anything in front of him perfectly, but he'll change everything and change people's names, piss people off, whatever. But he'll keep doing it year after year. It's pretty amazing. But Mike's a great guy, and like everybody said so far, he does a great job for any kind of racing. I wish I had more to say, but that's all I could come up with right now. And he also, and you raced a celebrity race, and you had the field covered, right?
Mm-hmm.
How many times did you spin out?
Just once.
Oh, that was it?
But I went from first to last.
No, no.
Because I didn't do what you told me. You told me not to look over my shoulder, and as soon as I looked over my shoulder, the car went around, and then
That's
the whole
it.
field went driving.
Right? But
I think I know what happened with that, because you were driving a race car, but it's a little hard to also announce while you're driving, because I heard the fans every time you went down the front straightaway, looking good, looking 1 lap to go, and we got a yellow, and Mike, that's your yellow.
But you had the Cran gig here. I was thinking maybe you need a speak and spell or something like that too. So maybe get some of the names right. But good luck in the future, and appreciate all your help.
Ladies and gentlemen, Daryl Traber with the Midwest Enduro Stock Car Series. One of the individuals, as far as that have been working with Mike for a long time in his career, which rolls on, and boy, do you look scared. Wow, this ain't on TV yet.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to bring up BJ Johnson, who has some probably insight on some other things that have happened in Mike's career, or some maybe even a story or a joke. BJ's been working with the safety in regards with past events at some of the speedways, and Mr. Babicz, are you ready for BJ?
I guess.
I better rephrase that. That sounded a little bad.
That wasn't good. Well, this is going to kind of be off the cuff, should we say, because this was a short notice deal. But I've been fortunate enough to work with Mike for, I think it's 22 years now. I'm fortunate enough to work along with my daughter's director of safety and first aid. I'm the individual that you drivers don't want to see, except before the race and after the race, because we're the ones that's going to come out there with the ambulance and pick you up. What happens when we come to pick you up? There's a lull in the action. Never a lull in the action. No, sirree. Constantly the radio's going in my ear. Are we ready to roll? Are we ready to race? No, Mike, it's going to be a couple minutes. We'll put up with that. When it gets up to 10 to 15 minutes, Mike still has a clue of what to do. He will take and bring the drivers from the pits and their cars, bring them over to the infield, bring them up into the stands, let the kids sign some autographs and get some autographs, shake hands with the drivers. It's fantastic, it's fantastic. I really, when we want to roast somebody, we like to make fun of people, but I find it kind of hard to make fun of Mike because we've been working together so long, but when you said Mike was going to sing tonight, we had to close the back door. We really did. Before every race, Mike comes, says the racer's prayer, and Kathy, when she's there, sings the national anthem. God bless her. But when the microphone or when the PA system doesn't work and Kathy's not there, who sings the national anthem? Mike. Who makes a good attempt to sing a national anthem? We all stood at attention and we felt proud. Please, Mike, don't ever do it again. Let's have a backup PA system, please. We're always, where we parked our ambulance was right at the entrance to the pits. For those of you that know, we work at one of the local racetracks. And every year they would put a speaker in our area. And they could never figure out why. About the second night of racing, the speaker would never work anymore. And they just come out and here would be our clips, the wires would be cut. Last year we got moved to the infield. The speakers lasted for about a week. We love Mike in a deep passion, but boy, it just gets old listening to him once in a while, so we just had to remove the speakers. We're roasting Michael Babicz. What is the nickname for Michael? Mike. Have we ever seen Mike without a mic? Never. It's not racing up and down the front straightaway. It's in the pits. It's wireless mic wherever it is. And I'll tell you, to know Mike for 22 years, I think there's not a person in this audience that couldn't agree with me that there's no greater fan for racing for not only the fan, the drivers, the people in the stands. And Mike, I want to wish you the very, very best.
Ladies and gentlemen, BJ Johnson. Mike, is it true that in the years of racing that the majority of these racetracks that now have sound rules is basically because of you? The decibel readings? One thing, before we got the program started this evening, I was talking with Daryl from Franklin Racing Productions, who does a lot of the videotaping of a lot of race events in the state. He said the best thing that has happened to his video productions, the best part of his video productions, Mike, was before they hooked up the announcer to his audio signal. So that's a key on that. One of the other individuals I'd like to bring up at this time is Jan Hafman. I know she's just have a couple words for you, Mike. And we'll keep rolling along. But ladies and gentlemen, as I call her, Blondie, Jan Hafman has a couple things for you, Mike.
Congratulations, Mike. I'd like to start out, Butch and I went down to your first show. It was in '97, and it was different. The show ran a week, and on Friday night we were all to go to the VFW hall to have a few beers, and happened to be Butch and I and Mike Beagle and your father and you. And as we were there, we were getting acquainted, and we were talking and having a good time. And I have to admit, I was kind of wondering about you, because Butch and I were talking about our previous marriages, and then you said, well, boy, my track record ain't too good. My second wife just left me. And I'm like, oh boy, So, but as time went on, you know, I got to know Mike better, and he's one hell of a guy. Does a good job in anything he does, puts his heart into everything he does. And I just want to say, good luck in whatever you do, because I'm sure you'll be a great success.
Thank you. She just kind of touched on a couple of things. Actually, I know we've heard different, she's kind of touched a couple of things. God, this is a great roast. She had the key to your room earlier. Mike, unfortunately, so did I. Oh man, this night's going bad. I got a question for you though, Mike. Let me name a couple of things here. Waukegan Speedway, Santa Fe Speedway, Hales Corner Speedway. 3 tracks you've announced that are closed. What are you doing? We got Kevin Dawson sitting here going, oh God, no, I don't think we need him back. We don't need him back. No, not him back. That's one thing that worried me when I was, oh boy, ladies and gentlemen. Well, you know, I keep rolling on here, and I'm gonna, because there are a couple more things that I know can get you. But I want to bring up someone that definitely has some things on you. One of your bosses, other than Kathy. And she's looking at me going, oh God, is this done yet? But I'd like at this time to ask Kevin Dawson to step forward, because he has a few things in regards to Mike Babicz.
Thanks, Jeff. Well, when Jeff first asked me to do this roast, he said, listen, I need you to fill about 5 minutes, and I'd like you to talk about Mike's good points. And I thought, okay, well, that shouldn't be too tough. What the hell am I going to do with the other 4.5 minutes, was the first thought. He said, well, write down Mike's good points, because I don't think you can get through this otherwise. And I said, Jeff, I really don't need to write them down, because I have a photographic, what do you call that? Yeah, thank you, that was it. So when we got through that, I decided I would write them down. Hang on, let me find a list of all of Mike's good points. No, that's not it, that's the menu from Alice's restaurant. Oh, there it is. To the best of our knowledge, he bathes daily. Okay. We wrote them all down. Mike, I don't know, can I talk about your personal life at all here? Yeah, probably not a secret anymore. Mike's engaged to be married. That's not a secret? It's not anymore, it was before. To Kathy? What the hell are you thinking? Wow. And Jeff, I don't know what to say about Mike. There's really nothing I can say about Mike that hasn't already been said about him by somebody else in the pit area, almost certainly. Mike, you spent almost 30 years at the Wilmot Speedway. Or, I'm sorry, the other dirt track in Lake Geneva. Or the other dirt track in southeast Wisconsin, yeah. Flashbacks, excuse me. And despite, and virtually everybody, as everybody's mentioned, virtually everybody in motorsports has heard you announce at one time or another. And in spite of that, people keep hiring you for things. And Mike's worked at a lot of places. Mike's worked at Road America. You've worked at Waukegan, Wilmot. You're going to be doing some stuff over at Lake Geneva. One of the other things it proves about you is you obviously can't hold a job. Mike, I think I've used up most of my time here, so in closing, I do want to say that it's a good thing that you have all these announcing jobs, because I happened to be at that Enduro where you were driving, and it wasn't pretty, pal. Good luck.
Ladies and gentlemen, Kevin Dawson. Going back in this driving thing, and I didn't bring it down tonight, and a lot of people probably don't even know, but I was emailed a certain picture this past week of an event you partook in at the Lake Geneva Raceway. I'm assuming it was a Friday fun night, where you guest drove a mini modified. the picture that was submitted to me, and Lord, I wish I had a printer to, make a big banner of it, because it was pretty good. Stained shorts. And I wanted to ask you about that, because the picture they sent me was you standing outside the car with like underwear. And it wasn't the color it normally should be. And hopefully not that I want to know personally, but maybe someone out here might want to be enlightened on that situation, but I figure it was probably one of the many times that you've driven a car. Very scared, because I've been on the track with you already in a race event, and thankfully I was the first car out that night. Done. We'll load up on the trailer. Mike's racing. Oh my God. 1 lap to go. Couple of things I also got this past week via email were some, I got a number of them. Number of congratulatory items from people, but unfortunately, Mike, they said they wanted to congratulate themselves for not being here tonight, so sorry on that behalf. One other person I know I asked to speak tonight, and he's standing in the back of the room, Mr. Mike Roebuck. Larry Roebuck, yeah, I'm sorry. Sorry, Larry. Larry Roebuck, I apologize. You are hypnotizing, Mike Babicz. Ladies and gentlemen, Larry Roebuck.
Please don't call me Mike. Don't do that. I just had to say something for Mike. Mike, I've known you for 26 years, I think it is. I started out at Waukegan Speedway. I took Rookie of the Year in a late model class that year. And I'm still honored to say I've still got the trophy your dad gave me that year. Mike started out on there to me. He was a kid running around. I was 29 years old, so he was a kid to me. And boy, he just didn't know nothing. I mean, as drivers, we took advantage of him. I'll tell you, we took a lot of advantage of him. But he learned quick, and he was a very good guy. And my saying for him back then was Mr. Microphone. I don't know if anybody here grew up in the early 70s where you had your Mr. Microphone where kids could listen to themselves. That was my saying for Mike. He was Mr. Microphone. He just good from there. Then he went on to Babicz. I call him now. I still call him Babicz. But he's just a great guy. I've always said over the years, I was talking to Tim Cox just earlier tonight, I don't care if you got a sponsor on your car, if it's a big corporate somewhere, or if it's a mom and pop grocery store. The fans are going to hear about that sponsor. The fans are going to hear where that sponsor is at. A lot of times he knows the sponsor. He stops and he talks to the sponsor. So he's very good at that. He can talk all night long, but believe me, your sponsors get their money's worth out of Mike. Mike, I'm proud to say I've known you for 26 years, man, and good luck to you. Take care. Thank you.
It's not my trip, Larry Roebuck. It's the last time it works for me. Thank you, Larry. Sorry I called you Mike. Sorry anyone is called Mike. In closing, that's all I really have for you. I do want to say thank you very much, because all these years that basically I grew up at the other nerd track down the road. As a little kid, I mean, I was fortunate enough to hear you, and my parents tried earplugs and everything, but still didn't work. But I do appreciate everything, all the opportunities you've given me personally through motorsports, and likewise, and the love that you have given my family and myself throughout the years. I thank you for that, and I hopefully continue the relationship that we've built. A good thing happening here, and Kathy still looks very scared. This is done yet. But Mike, thank you very much for having me part of your roast. I had a good time. I hope everyone helped. Please give yourselves a great big round of applause, or as Mike says, like Tim said, everybody up! Everybody up! Everybody up! Everyone up! Teammates and everyone stand at the racetrack. Let's stand for Mr. Mike Babicz. Again, I thank you all. The roast is over. Now is the good part, the awards on your behalf. Mike, thank you, my friend. Thank you for being part of my family. And ladies and gentlemen, I gotta give him the microphone now. Are you okay with this? They wanna go home tonight. We have a curfew. What time is it?
And they really enforce it?
Let's see, Mike. It's 9:31 on my phone. Your curfew is 9:45. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, Mike Babicz.
Thank you, Jeff. Thanks to everybody. I really appreciate it.
Also, you know, we actually kind of put this thing together trying to raise some funds for Wisconsin Fans for Auto Racing. Andrea's here and several of the folks from Wisconsin Fans for Auto Racing. We will be giving them some money. We don't know exactly how much yet because we haven't added it all up yet, but we will be giving them some money to help that organization continue. They do a lot of good stuff, and you know, I was fortunate enough to speak at John Quinn's roast, and I was also fortunate enough to be at Dwayne Sweeney's roast. And you know, it's a lot of fun, and that's what it's taken as, and I really enjoyed it and appreciate it, and all the kind words. But I'm still trying to figure